Hello, Pete. So firstly, I'm going to apologise for the crappy sound on the audio. It was OBS again. Filters, what I put on before, that they seem to reset and not work as good as what they should be doing. So welcome to the channel. If you're new, I'd appreciate a like and subscribe. If you're already a subscriber, thank you very much, Lee. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be building a 5 terabyte sort of low to mid range or low to mid end, a master's collection. It's something that I've wanted to do for a while, and I'm basically going to shrink a load of the different systems down to games that probably most people won't play. There might be a game that's in each of the collection. The same game might be on the Xbox, PlayStation 2 and Gamecube. I'm going to just delete 2 of them and just keep 1. Now my initial idea was I was going to keep all the Xbox titles if they was on the other systems. But basically, the Xbox isn't great emulation, and some of the games that I wanted to keep on wasn't running very good at all on it. So what I tended to do, because the Xbox was such a low collection, I wanted to sort of keep that as high as I could, because still Xbox was, you know, one of my top consoles. I've still got 3 of them now. I've got 2 grey ones. I've got a clear crystal one with a clear crystal controller. I still play it every now and then, but the emulation on them isn't great. PlayStation 2 and Gamecube emulation's a lot better. So what I did instead was I left the odd Xbox game on if I thought it was going to be running okay with it, you know, like the lower end games. But anything else, 9 times out of 10 I moved them off of the PlayStation 2 and left them on the Gamecube. But there's certain games that I just couldn't bring myself to delete on the PlayStation 2 and use them on the Gamecube, because I just remember them and I played them and owned them as on the PlayStation 2, and they're sort of pretty much iconic, so I wanted to leave them on the PlayStation 2, and I'll show you them as I go along. I'm going to sort of show you, I'm going to do a bit of a speed up on it. I'm going to go through it all and show you sort of what I do and what lengths I go to get this sort of collection. I'm also going to be doing probably another 3 builds. This one's a low to mid end. I'm going to do a low end, a mid end, and a mid to high end. Obviously, like the low end will be up to probably Nintendo 64. You'll have this one that I'm going to see where it goes. I've not even tested it yet to see what we can get with it. Then obviously the mid-range will be a little bit higher, higher settings on the PlayStation 2 and stuff like that, and probably, hopefully, a bit better performance at the Xbox, maybe up to Xbox 360, I don't know, but we'll have a look. And then obviously the mid to high will be everything above, like PlayStation 3, running decently on a, not a high spec, but a medium sort of spec computer. So we'll have a quick look at the specs on this PC. It's a Dell Optiplex 3040. We'll just type in the box down here, DX Diag, that brings this run command up. As you can see, this is Dell Optiplex 3040. It's got an i5-6500 quad-core processor and 3.2 gigahertz. It's got 8 gigabyte of RAM. It's got the Nvidia T400 graphics card, which is a really good little budget graphics card for doing emulation with. And as you can see, it's got a 256 gig SSD drive, Samsung's SSD drive, and then I've got a 6 terabyte hard drive, which I put down to 4.5 terabyte, and then I've partitioned a gigabyte of it for some PC games. So let's install Retrobat. We'll go to Google, obviously searching Retrobat. It's the first time I've been on Google on this computer. And as you click on this Retrobat, it's going to say this is the old site, so this is the new site here. Click that. I don't know why they just don't delete this, to be fair. Click download Retrobat. Download now. Takes you to this page. Again, download now. Now, here they ask for a contribution. You don't have to do this. I've done it because I appreciate the work they do. It's a brilliant system, Retrobat is. If you don't want to do it, you just click the no thanks. Just take me to the download section, and it will take you here. This is the latest one, the 5.3 Windows 64 setup. Click it to download, and it'll go into your download folder on your computer. So now it's downloaded. We'll run it, run the setup. I'm going to be putting it on the D drive, obviously, here. Now here, obviously, it's going to try. It's automatically going to put it on the C drive. I don't want it there. I want to put it on my D drive, so I'll just change this to the letter D here. Now it's downloaded. We'll just run the shortcut and boot up for the first time. So all I'm going to do from the get-go is go straight into the sound settings. I don't like the front-end music on. I'm going to turn that off. And then I'm going to go and download the theme, my favourite theme, which is the optiplex. But while I was in here, I noticed this touch of glass, which I've never seen before. It's got a 5-star rating, so I downloaded that at the same time. And I'll take a look at it to see if I think it's better than the optiplex. As you can see, Retrobat puts 3 games on. There's like one that's like basically obviously Minecraft, one that's Bomberman, and some sort of Sudoku type new puzzle game, which I've never clicked on. It also had a few of these sort of collections which it'll automatically populate the games when you put them in. I don't like them, to be fair. I don't like them being cluttering up the system. So I'll turn the ports off and I'll come in here. I'll leave the all games on. I don't want the last played. I'll leave the favourites on. And the arcade, the vertical arcade and the like games I'll also remove. That's personal preference if you want to leave them on. And now we'll just wait for this to download. So now that's all downloaded, we'll come into the user interface settings and we'll change the theme set to this touch of glass, which is basically very similar to the Artflix, but they've added these sort of plastic tiles over the system things, and I don't like it, to be fair. It's not my cup of tea. It's not bad, it's not the worst one I've seen, but I still prefer the Artflix, so that's what we're going to roll with. So basically I've got my Xbox games, PlayStation 2 games, Gamecube games loaded in. I'm going to start removing them. As you can see here, the James Bond game, there's a fair few of them that are repeats on the different systems. Like I say, I wanted to leave the Xbox ones on, but they're just not good enough. And also, if you've noticed here, because there's a space in between the full colon and the number, it sort of puts them in a different order, basically. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to delete all the spaces out from before the full colon. And also, sometimes it tends to put the James Bond games under J, obviously James Bond 007, so we'll have a quick look there to make sure there's none hiding. So we'll go back to the start now, back to 0, and I'll start removing the different versions. So as I say here, if it's on multiple systems, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave it on the Gamecube, because the PlayStation 2 collection is so much bigger than the Gamecube. I don't want to reduce the size of it, as I didn't want to reduce the size of the Xbox, but my hand was forced to that as it just wasn't running very good. So now I'll just speed it up while I run through deleting the games. I've also flicked to my other microphone here, so hopefully the sound's a little bit better, because it's been absolutely shit up to yet because of OBS. As we get down to Batman, The Rise of Tinzu, I know full well this runs fairly decent on my other PC, so I'm going to check it, see how it runs on this one.
Can't pass this up.
Now I don't know whether that was picking up, but it was getting a bit of audio stutter on there, a bit of lag, and it wasn't really. It was okay, but not as good as the PlayStation 2 version. So now as we get down to the blowout game, I'm pretty sure that this is going to run decently on the Xbox, so we'll have a quick look.
Just up ahead of you. Copy that?
Roger.
If the elevator is on a different floor, hit the blue switch next to the elevator shaft. This will bring the elevator to your floor. Go ahead and do this now so we can check out the next level. Copy that?
Roger.
Level 3.
The ship is in a bit of disarray. There are crates and bins. Hey, Kane, I outfitted you with the new M-Class jump pack.
Yeah, so that run fine on the Xbox. I thought it would be in the 2D title. On to Burnout now, and I can't bring myself to just leave it on the Gamecube. I fully remember this for the PlayStation 2. I had them all. I was a big Burnout fan back in the day. So I'm going to stick with these on the PlayStation, not the Gamecube. Same again here with the Conflict season. I was a massive fan of Conflict Desert Storm and all them, so again I had them all on the PlayStation 2. I completed them all on the PlayStation 2, so that's where I'm going to leave these ones. Crash Bandicoot again, that's got to stop on the PlayStation. They're my memories of the game, so. Also, Crazy Taxi here, I'm going to leave that for the Sega Dreamcast. Moving on to the game Dart Watch now, which I know runs well on my other computer for the Xbox, so I'm going to have a quick look at it. Yeah, so as you can see, it weren't running too bad, but then we were getting pretty big drops in the frames per second. So I'll put it back on the PlayStation 2. Set it at 720p on the PlayStation 2 and had a quick look at it running on that. So yeah, obviously that was a 30 frames per second version of it, but it was running a lot better. There were no stuttering, no lag drops or anything like that, so it was a lot more playable. Dave Mirror again, had to put that on PlayStation 2. Also, Dead or Alive 3. I know full well this runs really good on Xbox, so I'll have a quick look at that running.
Get ready, fight!
So as you can see, that one fine. Xbox is going to be a bit of a miss on this computer. There was the odd, you know, it was dropping down a bit, but it was unnoticeable while you were playing. You can only tell just because I was looking at the meter on the top. Same with Fight Night. I was a big fan of these. I had them all on the Xbox, so I wanted to quickly check it on the Xbox before I deleted it and leave it on PlayStation 2 to see how the performance was.
Here we go with round one. There you go.
Again, that run fine on the Xbox, so I'm going to leave that on the Xbox and remove it from the PlayStation 2. I basically just wanted to show you sort of what depths I go to, and if you're wanting to build your own collection, what sort of depths you should go to. Don't go in half-hearted for me. If you're going to be making something like this, you want it to be looking and running as good as you possibly can. Same with the Tomb Raider games, they can only be on the PlayStation for me. Also, I'm going to leave the Mortal Kombat games all on the PlayStation 2. Same with the Need for Speed titles, we're going to leave them all on the PlayStation 2. all the Tony Hawk's titles will be left for the PlayStation 2 as well. So we'll update the games list. We end up with 1,241 games between the three systems, 49 Xbox games, which I'd like to have a bit more, but compatibility is not great, like I say. Gamecube's 374, and PlayStation 2 is 815. So it's a solid start to the system. And like I say, I'm going to be adding all the different systems, but many systems like the old computers, I'm going to be lowering all the collections. I don't want thousands of games on them. The old Ataris, like with 600 odd games, I'm going to reduce that down to like 50 games. I just want a real clean, decent system with as little repeats as possible, even cross-platform. And also, like I've said, I don't know how far this little system's going to go. I don't know if it's going to be able to handle systems like the Wii U and stuff like that, but I'm going to find that as I go along building this system, and you'll be able to join me doing it. So the next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to configure all these three systems on this computer, pushing to what I think the limits sort of are for each system. Obviously Xbox isn't going to be great. PlayStation 2, I'm going to assume we might get up to 720p. I don't know how that, you know, it's something that I'll find out when I go to do it. But I'm going to configure this as I go along. My main reasoning for doing these basically is my bank account's as empty as hell, so I've got 5 or 6 Dell optiplexes, I've got 5 or 6 graphics cards, so I'm going to build them up, sell them on Etsy, or I might stick them on my website, the computers, just to get rid of a little bit of stock what I built up. Hopefully I'll get a few good builds out of it as well that I can save. Obviously, like I say, I've wanted to do this for a while, where I want to take all the repeat games out from each systems and end up with, hopefully, which is going to be a really decent, clean little system. So again, if you took anything whatsoever from this video, I'd really appreciate it if you could like it, subscribe if you're not subscribed. It doesn't cost you anything, you haven't got to fill anything in, you're not going to get no notifications. It just helps build my channel, and hopefully one day gets me earning a little bit of money out of YouTube. I'd really appreciate it. Until next time, peeps.